Hello and welcome back to our community spotlight. I'm Amy with the community manager here at Enterprise in Greenwood Village. And today I'm joined with Lauren Gase. Thank you so much for joining us. Lauren
Yeah.
Lauren is the founder of Matrix, and I am really excited to learn more about your business and how this started and what you do. So let's go ahead and dive in. Um, Tell us a little bit about your company and what you guys do.
Yeah. So my background and training is really in public health and specifically helping to address those really tough underlying environmental and systemic factors that are the root drivers of poor health and health inequities. So, for example, lack of access to education or involvement in the juvenile justice system and to help address these issues, I was really trained as an evaluator and applied researcher, right? Someone who uses data to kind of help identify challenges, address challenges, et cetera. And to me, I really believe that data should be used to improve social impact, not just a tool for accountability. So I founded Mindful Metrics, where I work with governments, nonprofits, and philanthropic partners to really help them transform how they use data to learn and improve.
Right. I think what an interest to me, it's just very interesting, the whole thing. One, looking into all this data that is available and figuring out how to apply it and educate, to better educate people in these systems, or to pinpoint um, problem areas or things that can be implemented to make better change. Is is
Mhm.
is really neat. And so very, very interesting. So tell me a little bit, the reason why I had wanted to interview you, because you had been hosting a couple of meetings here at the Greenwood Village office, and you're mostly down at our Rhino office. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, tell us a little bit about what you were doing out here.
So I was facilitating a community advisory board meeting for a project that I'm working on with three different prosecutors' offices in Colorado, to help them better figure out how to address issues of racial disparities at points of prosecutorial discretion. So we're specifically focusing on the bond setting and whether someone is able to get out of jail. And then during the case processing component, right, where they're deciding, are we going to reduce the charges? What kind of plea offer are we going to give? Does the person get to go to diversion, right, or some other kind of alternative processing mechanism? So I was facilitating these community advisory board meetings where we really bring together folks from the community alongside the elected DAs and the high level DA staff to show them, here's what we're seeing, here's what we're finding with the data,
Right.
right? And what does that mean to you, right? As someone in the system, what does that mean to you as a community member? What does that mean to you? If you have kind of lived experience yourself or your family, if you work with an organization in the community, right, to support folks who are justice involved. And so by bringing those folks together, they bring all of their different perspectives to think about, okay, here's what the data is telling us, and
Right.
here's what we might want to do to really help address those inequities and really make sure that we're treating folks fairly at different points of justice system
Right.
contact.
Right. Um, it's really, really fascinating to me. And, because everything is data driven, I mean, they can really see that and work to eliminate some of those issues,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
make some positive change to maybe how they address some of this, and then for people in the community to also give their opinions and input yeah, I think it's really, really great and fascinating. Um, how long have you been doing this business?
Yeah, so I launched Mindful Metrics in January of last year. And really prior to that, I'd been working at a couple of university-based consulting companies. And I enjoyed that. And I just decided that I was really ready for the freedom and the flexibility to be able to put together my own project teams that could really, best address the needs of the client. Um, what's great is that I also have experience working internally within governments. I worked in federal government as well as local government, as well as within nonprofit organizations, really doing and leading, research, evaluation, learning type work. So I like to think that I have an understanding of what it's like to be, in my client's shoes, kind
Yeah.
of feeling overwhelmed with like an urgent to-do list, but at the same time really wanting to figure out how to do things more effectively, more efficiently.
Yeah. And also what once you have that data and you see areas that need improving and how to kind of put an action plan together and um, go from there, I mean, it's
Mm-hmm,
really, really,
mm-hmm.
it seems like it would be really interesting work. And especially what the meetings that you've been hosting out here with, I mean, that's really a really incredible and positive impact for the community as a whole. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, what would you say? I mean, you did address this a little bit, saying that you do come from both the backgrounds, kind of have that unique perspective for what you're doing. But as far as would you say what makes your company different from any other companies in this field, um, other than that?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think for me, I when I was thinking about this, I thought of sort of three main ways. The first is that I really work in partnership with my clients to sort of get in there and understand what's happening, what are the pain points, what are the opportunities, so we can co-design, what it is we're going to work on together, right? And then it's really important to me to remain flexible and pivot along the way as needed, because you may start out thinking, this is the challenge, this is what I want to do. But of course, as you go, as you look at data, as you start to change and implement things, they may then decide you need to do something different. And so
Yeah,
for me, that kind of close working relationship and partnership and flexibility, I think, is one thing that I really maintain as a core value that I hope it differentiates me from a
yeah,
lot of maybe the larger consulting sort of shops. The second piece is that I really valuable multiple ways of knowing. So sometimes we think about data, we only think about numbers,
sure.
right? But I think it's also really, really important to think about stories, to think about lived experience, right? The things
Yeah.
that we know through other ways, right? And so I love to work with my clients to look at different types of data, really bring those together, have these kind of joint meaning making sessions where we make sense of things together,
Yeah.
and then, identify a path forward based on that. And then I would say the third thing that I hope makes me different is I like to focus on creating structures and processes that help organizations become more learning centered, right? I don't want them to have to become like too dependent on me. I'm not just here to do a project. I really want to like work myself out of a job. So that yeah, so like, because there's so much of this to do, right? And
Yeah.
so I want to help the clients I work with really build the capacity and create the structures that they need to kind of keep doing this on their own, right?
Right,
And maybe they bring in consultants, for specific things at, later times, but they have that core kind of learning foundation that really
right.
supports them in all of their work.
Yeah, that's such a valuable thing to bring to the client, so that they can teaching those people in those positions to identify what data to look at and how to address some of those things on a continued basis. Because as we know, I mean, a lot of these issues are, it doesn't just go away, it doesn't change overnight. And
Right.
it starts by recognizing some of the issues within the data that they're given, and then, starting to change things. But yeah, that's great. So giving them the tools to move forward with it on their own too. Yeah,
Exactly,
really,
exactly.
really awesome. Um, Now tell me about any other specific, um, maybe projects you have of interest that you're working on right now that you're really excited about, or um, just anything that that you're just really excited to work on.
Yeah. I'm super excited about a couple of things. I've started teaching this year in January with the Emergent Learning Community Project. I am a teacher and a coach with them. And that has just been so energizing and so exciting. Emergent learning really provides a great framework. It's a set of principles and tools that help, do the kinds of things that we've been talking about,
Yeah,
right? Really help organizations become more learning oriented.
yeah,
So I'm super excited to be teaching a course with them that's designed for professionals. We have a lot of folks from philanthropy as well as, government, nonprofit as well, a lot of all kind of really mission driven organizations.
sure.
So we teach them over a course of 6 months some of these skills, some of these tools. They get a lot of chance to apply them, test them
Yeah,
out, get feedback from their peers, get feedback from a coach. And so I love being able to do this kind of
yeah.
teaching work again to just kind of help have greater impact. And so that's something that I'm doing that I'm really excited about as
Yeah,
well.
that sounds awesome. I mean, just and a really nice way to give back and help other people to grow and learn and continue to learn, and facilitate change in their communities or with their own organizations. I mean, that's got to be really rewarding for you.
Yeah, it's great. And that
Yeah.
community also has a lot of free resources, on their website. So if folks
Oh,
are
cool.
interested in learning, more about what some of these tools look like, I definitely encourage folks to check that out. It's the Emergent Learning Community Project. And
Okay.
yeah, you can find out more about, that approach and yeah, just access some resources as well.
Perfect. We'll definitely include a link below the interview for that, and then also to contact you if anybody has any needs for your services. Now, tell me what made you choose enterprise co-working, and how do you like being an enterprise member?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I had to get out of my house,
Yeah,
which I'm sure y'all hear a lot. I really enjoy that physical separation, right, of a workspace. As you mentioned, I'm in the Rhino location, which I love. I live just down the street, and I can ride my bike here, and
love
yeah,
it.
it's great. And I think there's a really good kind of physical setup, with the open co-working, different kind of spots to work, access to meeting rooms, for big meetings or for client, meetings. And overall, it's just a great vibe. It's a really fun and supportive community. Y'all do fun stuff. Enjoyed the opening day party,
Yeah, yeah. Thank
last
you for
week. So
coming.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's just a great vibe that y'all have.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And we appreciate having you as part of our community. And speaking directly to our viewers, is there anything else you would like to tell them about your company?
And I'm just, excited to continue to meet new collaborators, new potential clients. And so I guess I would just say, if you're interested in data curious or data nerd, or want to explore ways to help your organization or an organization that more strategically kind of learn and improve, I would love to connect.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, Lauren, so much. It was great to chat with you and learn more about what you do. Um, Thank you for sitting down with us. We will post links and your contact info below so that our members, if they have more interest or want to find out more, can take a look. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that sounds great. Thanks, Amy. Great to
Thank
connect
you
with
very
you.
much. Thanks for watching our community spotlight. Bye, everybody.